coming on?
Yeah, it is. Let me turn a little light on. Hey guys, Dexter and Tonya here.
It is a little dark.
It is a little blurry. Look at it on your phone.
Okay.
If it's too dark, we will.
You tagged me.
Let me see. If it's too dark, we'll be right back. Is it too dark?
It's not opening. Ooh, that's nice. There we go.
What does it look like?
Blurry.
Okay, I'll go back.
Well, no. Okay.
It's not?
Well.
Hey Val, what's up?
It's a little. I mean, it's just dark. You can see okay.
Okay. I know what I'll do. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, Icy B.
Good evening.
Icy B in the house. Look, that's better right there. Look.
Is that better?
Okay.
Oh.
Hey guys, listen. Tonya and I, we just wanted to say hello to you. You know, it's been a minute since we did car conversations with the upgraders, right?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. But look, this is what we wanted to do. And it's better. Hey, thanks, Ladora. Listen, we want to talk to you guys very quickly. We won't be long, but it's about vulnerability, right? Vulnerability. Hey, let's just be real, right? It's 2019. What's the day's date? January 24th?
Yep.
It's January 24th, 2019. I heard it said today. Somebody was like, man, January is almost gone.
Yeah.
It is. It's almost gone, right? But here's the deal. Vulnerability. If you want to have influence and make an impact, a real impact on people, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, right? Hey, Nettie. Yeah, Nettie, it's almost gone. But look, you've got to be vulnerable. And the thing is, social media, if Tonya and I didn't come and tell you guys, right, like now, being vulnerable, if we didn't share with you some of the things that we experience, you will look at our pictures and say, oh, they got it going on, because I might pick the right pictures to post, and I make the right comments. You know, I love quotes, all these kinds of things. You might think we have it going on. Let me tell you something. The more vulnerable you are, the more influence and impact you will have on people. If everything's perfect in your life, you're living a fake life. It's just the deal, right? So we want to talk to you about vulnerability real fast. Being vulnerable, and I'll tell you, vulnerability. I can remember when I worked for the state of North Carolina for like 8 years, right? And then I decided that I wanted to leave the state to pursue real estate appraisals. I left. I started an appraisal business, and as soon as I started that business, the market tanked, and I just got out of the industry. It was horrible. But listen, here's vulnerability. I went to take my real estate appraisal exam. I was pumped up. I had studied. I was just ready to go get it, right? I was ready to go off and be successful, right? And I went in and took my test. And when I failed, that lady said, you missed it by 2 points. And guys, Mr. Dexter, Mr. Motivator, it took me like a whole day to get over that failure. Vulnerability. That's what we're talking about. Grown man. You would think I knew how to handle failure. Absolutely not. I failed. I couldn't even call Tonya on the phone to say, Tonya, I failed my exam. I couldn't even do that because I saw myself as a failure. I saw that the fact that I didn't pass that exam as a failure. I saw that I failed my kids. I saw that all of that kind of ridiculous crap. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Listen, when you fail, give yourself a round of applause. You want to know why? Because you're taking steps to go further. That's what you need to do. It's not about being shameful of your failures, being shameful of the things that you wanted to do but you couldn't do. By you being quiet, you're not motivating and influencing anybody. You're just keeping it in, and you're not making any progress forward. That's why you've got to be the one to show your vulnerability. What do you think, Tonya?
I think it's good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I guess I'm just kind of listening, thinking myself, be vulnerable now, transparent.
Gotta be
you guys
vulnerable.
know that I have been pretty transparent here recently, sharing some things. But let me tell you something that I've been that I would shy away from. And I've talked before about even coming live and talking and so forth. One of the things that I've done you know, over this past 2 years, over the last like year and a half especially, and like even being here and I'm looking, and you know we can see ourselves back, right? Dexter has it flipped where we're actually seeing ourselves, and I would look at my face and I would see its puffiness, and then I would be like, oh God, you know, I don't want to be up here. What are people thinking? It was the weight stuff. So one of the things that I really had to do and to resist is to come forward and say, you know, just come. I'm here. You know, let me be me. It is vulnerable for me because of the things that I would think people would say, only to have it actually done. But I'm still here. You know, I'm still coming forward. I'm still having the conversations. I still had a conversation camp, you know, had women and sisters there, you know, and kind of thing as I was going through the process of not feeling good about myself. And, you know, but what can I do but continue to live and to go? So It's one thing to do it because there's something that's happening within me to help me to get better. But now it's a thing to actually share it with you, to know that you may have felt the same way. You may look at yourself sometimes and not feel good. There may have been things that's happened to you in your life, and it will have you to feel like, I shouldn't, and you go into hiding. So I'm just basically reaching my hand out to you, and I'm asking you to take hold of my hand, and I'm asking you to grab hold with me, and I want to just pull you up and pull you out and forward. And I want you to know how beautiful and how valuable you are. You know, you do. I have a lot of women that's been messaging me, and I'm pretty sure, I know we got some brothers that's up here with us as well. And sometimes for men, I know Dexter talks about that, is for men a lot of times they don't say anything at all. You know, men really feel like they got to keep things in hiding.
I'm gonna say something to the men when you're done. Okay.
In hiding. But for my sisters, I just really want to encourage you and want you to know what it is that you can do, what you can accomplish, you know, and it's just a matter of keeping it going and taking the next steps. We hear this kind of stuff a lot, right? It's a matter of like, yeah, people just tell me anything I can, but it is a matter of you actually believing it. It's you hearing me and feeling my heart and taking, you know, me at what I say, but you have to believe it. You have to know it for yourself and just know it's all good and it's gonna be fine, and just do what it is that you have to do and live. And I love what you was even saying, Dexter, because you can get up and you can get going and you can kind of feel like, God, I don't feel good today, but we don't want to admit it. Now let's go real. Now I want you to speak to this too, Dexter. When we're here together,
share this live because people need to hear this.
We talk about personal development, right? We talk about positive thinking. We talk about the mind and say, you know, we love that, right? So we do all of that, which is a wonderful thing. But how often, because you hear things like that, then you feel like I shouldn't think negative. I shouldn't be feeling this way. And so now there's something that comes upon us, and there's like this guilt. There's a shame that could even come up. You ain't even communicating it with people, but you're feeling it yourself because you're like, I get up here and I listen to all this positivity and I see these posts and I'm looking at what people are doing and everybody's so happy and they this and I'm that, and I know to think this way and I know that I'm valuable and they telling me all this, but I feel this way. What's wrong with me? What's going on? You see what I'm saying? Those kind of things happen and
nothing's wrong.
Right, it takes place, but nothing is. It's a matter of saying, I'm human. Things happen. I may have heard something, but here's the thing for me, because it happened for me even today. And I was getting some things. I was going through some mail, and I got a phone call from our daughter, and I'm listening to her, and some things just kind of had me off, and I stopped, and I'm like, whew, I'm not feeling, I'm not feeling too good right now. And I said to Dex, I need some help. And sometimes it's a matter of like, what do I need to listen to? So I have to change what I'm listening to. I have to change what it is that I'm watching. I'm like, let's speak. I took some deep breaths in, held that thing. I released to bring myself back into a place and a balance. Because in all honesty, what happens is our mental, our minds, they actually go off into some things. You begin to ponder, and it does affect you. There are things that can happen in my life and I need to deal with. They might come. What do I do? But you got to get yourself back into that balance so that you can really think, so that you can make some good sound decisions, so that you can really begin to speak to yourself who you are. That's fine. Just do what you have to do. I had to do it today. I want you to know maintain control of who you are. So that you can walk out the life that you desire, bit by bit, moment by moment, day by day. I hope you're hearing me. I really do. I hope that you're hearing me, because it's okay. It happens. But now what do I do when it happens?
Thanks, Tedra. Tedra said it just happened to me going off balance. Look, you guys, the only way we're going to affect change is if we are vulnerable. We've got to be vulnerable to one another, right? And here's the deal. I wish I could tell you how many times that I wanted to just stay in the bed. I'm talking about, I just didn't feel like getting up. I would get the kids up in the morning. No. I would get the kids up in the morning, get them off to school, and I come back and I'm like, man, I'm just tired. I'm zapped. Because you deal with a lot of things. But you know what? We all deal with it. It's cool. Hey, it's just a thing, right? It just is. You make the choice. But I'm going to talk to the men just real quick. Men, listen. Whether you're married, whether you're engaged, whether you're single, men, we take on a lot of stuff that we don't verbalize. And when we don't verbalize these things, they turn into sickness. It's just the real deal. We get sick, we have headaches. We don't even talk about it when we have headaches. When we're down, we don't even talk to anybody about it. Even our friends, when we're down, we don't even call the boys and say, man, I'm down. Because we're living this, I don't know what it is. It's this superhero type of thing. And I'm telling you right now, forget that mess. This is January 24th, 2019. It is about being healthy. It is about being wealthy in your mind. It is about being healthy in your body. So I'm talking to the men. Wives, if you're watching this Facebook Live, and you have a husband that's on Facebook, tag him in this video or invite him to watch it. Men, if you're watching this video, I'm having a conversation with you. We need to be vulnerable for our wives. And see, the thing is this, I can do a lot of stuff for Tonya. I can have this front, but probably within the last year, I would say really the last 3-4 months, I've been more vulnerable to her than I have in 18 years of marriage. You better listen to me.
And we've grown so much closer.
We've grown much closer because I told her what I'm thinking. I told her what I'm feeling. I told her, man, Tonya, I'm just, and me being able to share that has been, it's just like a breath of fresh air on our marriage. So I'm telling you, we've got to be vulnerable. If you have a spouse, be vulnerable with your spouse. If you have a friend that you trust, be vulnerable with that friend. Just talk to somebody. You can't hold this stuff. Listen, time is not waiting for any of us. We're all progressing forward. We're 24 days into the new year, and Tonya and I decided we're not taking the junk of any of the previous years into this year, and same for you.
Yeah.
If you brought some stuff into this new year, because you remember, we don't do New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions equal a bunch of crap. Tony laughs at me, but I'm serious. New Year's resolutions is crap. It's a trap. And people make these falsehoods and they say, I'm going to do this, and then it just doesn't work. Forget that. Let's be real. Let's be authentic. We deal with crap, and we need to be able to talk about it. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
we need to be able to deal with it.
When I was sharing with you how earlier today I was dealing with some things and how it was beginning to make me feel. And when he's kind of set up, I said to Dexter then too, I was like, don't come after me right now. I didn't want any correction. And he was like, no. He said, he said, I'm listening, because what he said to me is, I understand why you feel that way. That thing blessed me because he understood the feeling. That's what I'm saying. Feelings can come, and it's a reason, why they come, things that happen. It doesn't always necessarily mean that I'm right in what I'm thinking. And this is what I mean by that. I'm right in what I'm thinking because I have the right to feel any way that I want to feel. That's my feelings. But maybe what I'm understanding about the thing that I'm actually looking at isn't so. That's the benefit of the doubt. So for me, and I'm sharing with him, but I'm giving him my side, he understood. That blessed me. And then I said, I want to hear from you. So then it was a matter of like, okay, get myself together. Now what? And it's like learning to let things go. So one of the things that we have definitely come to understand so much more for ourselves is our recovery time is faster. we don't bask in the things that don't make us feel good. We recognize that it's so. We acknowledge, we talk about it. That's what I mean by saying exposure brings closure, to bring us to that place. And then it's a matter of releasing it. As a woman, our release time for me, y'all tell me if you agree or not, is a lot slower than for a man. Things that I've even been dealing with over the past few months, and my husband and I can walk into this place, and for me, I got guarded. So Tonya's not talking as much. Tonya pulled back. Tonya's just sitting there. And they're like, what's wrong with you? Nothing, I'm good. And I am, I'm fine. But I'm just not the same Tonya that they're used to. However, he's the same Dexter. So they seeing him, and he's like, hey, what's up, what's up? And then he has given me so much coaching as a woman of just how to release things, not having it on the mind. And see, this is where Tonya was. For me, I felt like, well, if I'm just sitting here and just talking, it's like I'm saying, I'm okay with what you did. And he was like, no, that ain't what you're saying. He was like, I'm like, okay, I see how that is. But at the same time, I love you. At the same time, I don't have to change. And although I know that I may be a little bit more careful, or there may not be things I share with you, or that I may do things a little bit differently, I'm still gonna like, hey, what's going on? Ain't no need for me to be acting like something wrong. Y'all, yeah, I'm telling you, for a woman, we need that. Oftentimes we don't do it. We'll wear our feelings on our sleeve. We'll show it in how we enter a room. And so we've got to know how to come up out of things faster. That recovery time faster. What is it? It's love.
Yeah.
And we've been reading and studying that more even this past week. Is love.
Love. And see, yeah.
Love.
And, I'm going to tell you what's very interesting. When we all...
It has a look.
And I don't want to get too deep into this because this is what we train on. But when we recognize that we're all connected, then I can look at you differently. Then I can.
This is so
then
good.
I can treat you differently.
Boy.
Then I can recognize your faults as well as my own. Because looking at you, I look at myself.
Come on, God.
I don't want to get too deep into this, but we can, but we're not. Because I'm telling you, this stuff is phenomenal. So what Tonya's talking about is when she deals with something, men watching, husbands, when Tonya deals with something, when our wives deal with something, we want to go and try to make it better all of a sudden without listening. Hey, we're right, but we're also wrong. And see, Tonya is a trainer.
I tell you, everybody's right.
Everybody's right.
Everybody's wrong.
And everybody's wrong. There's two sides to every story, or two sides to every coin.
But what's the commonality?
What's
what
the
do
commonality?
You both want?
That's right. That's good. We both want. See, Tonya wants resolution. I want to take her out of that spot of wanting resolution to get her to the place of saying it's okay, but it just can't happen like that. So it has to be some understanding there. So we have to be vulnerable. That's the whole point of this Facebook Live. Do not carry, we're 24 days in to the new year. Do not carry the things that you've been carrying any longer because you refuse to talk to somebody. You've got to get it out. And, if you say, Lord, show me somebody that I can talk to that can be a sounding board. That's the thing. You all, I say women, you want to hear, you want us to listen first. And then we can talk about it later. And that's literally true. Because Tonya and I, 18 years of marriage, I would always want to come to her rescue. That's not what she wanted at the time. So we are growing, and we want you to grow too. The thing is, be vulnerable. That's why we do these Facebook Lives. That's why Tonya and I, we talk a lot with couples. We deal a lot with couples. We do a lot of things couples related because it is about understanding one another and learning that we're all connected. And when we do that, we can make a greater impact. So when you come to social media, a lot of people come to social media to just get a reprieve from life, or they just want to have a break or whatever it is. But be authentic, be vulnerable. Hey, sometimes, I know Tonya, she's beautiful, right? Tonya doesn't come on Facebook Lives without her makeup done or her hair done, right? I always got a hat on. But look, my stuff a little jacked up. But I put a hat on, right? But I'm saying, why don't we wake up in the morning and go Facebook Live? What I'm saying is, it's about authenticity. I know that sounds crazy. I know women not going to do it. Men, but what I'm saying is, it's the authenticity that we go from where we make the greatest impact.
Minimally.
And it's not the sensationalized, let me see who's doing this today, doing that today, who's famous, what this person did, what that person did, all of that superficial junk. And then at the end of the day, when you get off of Facebook Live or Facebook or social media, Instagram, you got to deal with what you're not willing to be vulnerable about. That's all we're saying. You know, we just wanted to come and talk to you guys. Tetra, thank you. Thank you guys for watching us. We appreciate it. You know, we don't just go live or do things to do it. It has to have a meaning behind it. And so actually what we're doing, we're at our school, at my son's school. He went to a basketball game. We're waiting for him to come out. So we wanted to see a live. Let's see. Cynthia said, people see the real me, and I go Facebook Live. Cynthia, thank you. Thank you for doing that. You know, let's be real. Let's be authentic. See, I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, authenticity lasts.
That's true.
Authenticity lasts.
I mean, that's the thing I feel like we get to, is people really feel like we are, and that we're okay, and that we're real, and we do, and we try to be. My hand covering everything, trying, you know, to be. We want to be who we are, and just really bring the genuine side of who we are when we actually speak and, you know, come forward to share and to talk and make a connection. So we're just grateful for that. I don't know. This was a good thing for me. This was good really for me.
Hey, Sherry.
And just to think about myself personally.
Yeah. So, hey, I actually, one of the guys I follow on Instagram's Ed Milet. He's incredible, right? I follow a lot of people, and I listen to him. But Ed was like, listen, when I get up in the morning, it would be crazy for me to tell you, I don't always feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like eating right. I mean, he was just so open. And I'm like, man, see, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. I wish I could tell you that when I get up in the morning and put on my clothes, I'm like, I'm good every time. No, I got to change. I got to feel comfortable, right? Tonya, same way. People, we got to be comfortable being who we are. You know, no one is you. This is a quote. No one is you, and that's your power. No one is you, and that's your power. Listen, and here's what I want you to do before we end the live. And then, Tonya, you want to share something. This is what I want you to do. I want you to begin to be, arrogance is confidence under control. I got that from Walter Bond, right? Arrogance is confidence under control. I want you to be borderline arrogant with who you are, because we got the alternative. We always arguing for our limitations. Our ego kicks in, and we don't want to acknowledge who we are. So the point is, acknowledge your vulnerability, but also acknowledge your greatness. See, when you speak, there are people that are designed to hear the frequency of your voice. When Tonya speaks, there are people that are designed to hear the frequency of her voice. When I speak, there are people that are designed to hear the frequency of my voice.
Amen.
When you speak, there are people that are designed to hear the frequency of your voice. And when you don't speak, they don't hear. When you don't speak,
that's a testimony.
They don't hear.
That's a testimony.
Open your mouth and speak and proclaim your greatness to the world. That's all you got to do. And be vulnerable, man. Look, cry sometimes. Just let it go. Just say, man, I'm good. You know, I'm hurting, but I'm good. And when you start doing that, then you're able to influence people. Then you're able to make an impact on the people that are designed to hear your voice. Don't get me started.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm good. I don't need to keep going because I'm about to turn it to another level.
Yeah, because that is it. I know all I was hearing as you were saying that's how, and we say it a lot, is we overcome by the blood and our testimonies. So that's all that is. You begin to speak is testimony. So what I heard in my spirit to say to you even now is you are to speak to yourself tonight. So go and look at yourself in the mirror and you speak to yourself. So you bring that confidence. You share to you who you are. You see? So you testify to you.
That's good.
Begin to be vulnerable with yourself, and now you'll be able to step out and do some things with other people. So tonight, that's your assignment. Okay, we want you to do that.
Oh, that's good.
Speak to yourself. I'm telling you, we got to get used to that. That's something that we've been doing even with our group. I see Valencia Dantzler here. She's a part of one of the groups that we have. And one of the things that we've been doing every time we come on a call together for the month of January is we've been talking about what I like about me. What's something that you can, what is it about you that's good? Mm-hmm. And when we start off doing that, it's really hard sometimes for you to begin to write. Right now, I'm asking you, and then just let us know that you did it. And come here and share with us some of the things in the comments. Let's do this, okay? But you begin to write. Can you give me 20 things? I like what? I'm good at what? I'm a magnificent what? I can such and such. What can you do? Let me give you one of mine. I've said. What you love about yourself. What do you love about yourself? What do you love about yourself? What do you love about yourself? Okay? What do you love? You know? And one of the things I said, I'm a good hugger. I like that I'm a good hugger. I like that I have a listening ear. I like that I care about people. I like my dimples. You see, this is hard. This was hard for me to be able to come here, my nephew. This was hard for me. It was hard for me to be able to talk about me. It was hard for me to be, hey, baby. It was hard for me to be able to talk about what I'm good at.
It's our nephew, Kevin.
Hey, how y'all doing?
This is my nephew, y'all. But that was difficult for me to be able to do that, to be able to share about something good about myself, can compliment other people. People could compliment me, and my response to the compliment would be something about them. Or my response would be about, I had this all for, I done had this for, it's old. They could compliment my outfit, it's old.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, thank you.
Yep.
So if that's you, you need to start saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And you need to be able to communicate and talk about yourself without any type of reservation whatsoever.
All right. So be vulnerable. That's your thing. So as Tonya said, do that tonight. Put it in the group. Put it right here in this Facebook Live, what you did. You need to do it. Because here's the thing, we can tell you to do it all day long. If you don't do it, then it's not going to work. You need to get in the routine of being vulnerable to yourself first, okay? Listen, we appreciate you. Thank you for watching the Upgraders Car Conversations. Listen, we appreciate you all, and we hope that we were able to make an impact on you through our vulnerability. And just remember, as you're vulnerable, then you will be drawing people in to also open up and be vulnerable so that we can proclaim our uniqueness to the world. All right.
Yeah. And look, and I wanted to say this too. We were kind of talking even coming up here, but just be on the lookout, because even as we got to talking more, Dexter, I just said to him prior to us going live, I'm like, there's something I want to do. So even for all couples out there, we can do this with everybody, but I know I want couples in the room too. But how to communicate, understanding each other's strengths and how you communicate, your communication style, how you process information. So there's something that I'm like, we got to sit down and do this, or maybe a day long, something that we can all come together and just do this exercise that we have. And then when you go through it, you're going to find out what type of communicator you are. You'll determine what type of communicator your spouse is. And even for those who go through it, you will be able to understand yourself, but you're also going to be able to understand how other people think and process. You're going to know your strengths, you're going to know your weaknesses, and we'll also discuss theirs. So now, as an example, the kind of mindset that I have, the kind of mindset Dexter has, it has helped us to know, I know how he processes information. So now if Dexter asks me a question and I don't answer right away, he not offended.
Right.
But also, if Dexter asks me a question, my responses are quicker to say, let me get through this right then and I'll let you know. I don't just sit in silence. So it's like we're sitting there helping each other. How do I say it? Just
it's good.
Basically, we're just better communicators. We're communicating more effectively. Y'all look out for that. It's in my heart. And then after doing this, it just came back up. I know we're going to do it. I want you there. I want you there.
It's communications intelligence in your house. See, people have never taught that before. Tonya used to teach this during her 16 years career as a trainer. And then we implemented it years ago. And it not only helps to know who you are, to know your spouse is, but to begin to learn other people. It is an incredible tool that you can use, but we're going to help couples. Tonya talked about it. We're going to do it. It is incredible. See, a lot of people, you don't know why you're arguing. You don't know why you're this and that and the third.
Why something getting on your nerves
After
so bad?
this, you're going to know.
Yeah.
Then you can provide the strategy to close that gap in communication.
Absolutely.
So look, we're going to roll. Our son is coming out. We appreciate you all. Thank you for watching The Upgraders. Dexter and Tonya Scott, we may not know you,
but we know what's in you.
See you next time.